Hey, yo! Greetings and salutations. I hope everyone's having themselves a mighty fine day. Please like the video and subscribe and hit that bell down to the Ghost of the 13-month series doesn't get you, and you can stay notified. We talking TOG, everything, all things, raw dog, diggity dog. If you ain't caught up, get the fuck out. I don't want to hear it. Shut up. I'll be crying. Spoiler, shut
Don't
up.
cook yourself.
Like, I don't want to hear it. Well, we heard my boy Tris. You guys have heard of him before. He's not been around for
Yes,
a while, but
sir.
he here though. We got a lot of
I'm the
catching up to
hermit.
do, so we out here.
We out here,
Anyway,
man. We got so much to discuss today, man.
we got family heads. We got memories from lost.
The memories of lost
We got
past.
Jerem. We got N. We got the Seal Princess Tax. We got so much to say. But like before I say anything, how kind of felt about the series in general since he came back from his hiatus? Like general feeling.
Def- Definitely since he's come back, you can tell that the general production of the series has gone up as well. Because you can tell like Neighbor is turning webtoons more into like a business. So you got mangaka out there trying to be solo, doing their things on their own. And then you've got, manhwa, creators over here with full staff teams, 3D models that they can put in. Like the general production of the series has gone up. And I feel like the story has been able to be visualized how he probably sees it in his head. So he can really project a lot of his, ideas and kind of like the wackier ones, like, onto pages now and really bring the story together in that aspect and kind of showcase the crazier powers that we're going to be getting into with high rankers, family heads, of course, and stuff like that. So I think he's been in his bag. I really think he's been in his bag. I feel like a lot more people have been paying attention to the series, on a more weekly basis as well, waiting for them chapters to hit, like cracking their veins. So I'm one of them. You already know that, but I'm very happy with where he's at. How about you? I know you be looking at it in a different lens, than me as well, and I like that perspective. And I feel like before his hiatus, you were on a like kind of up and down on it, but I feel like I don't know. I think you're on a good trend with it too.
Yeah, this is the most like fun and excitement and enjoyment I've had since the third season, pretty much in general. Like
Mm-hmm.
I've always said that I really think before the hiatus, like the last three chapters for me were a little weird with like the Lily All fight. I'm like, I don't know about this,
Yeah,
and then it's like, oh, we're doing this Cooking Mama, Love Island, whatever, Love Is Blind contest, and I'm like, okay, this could be interesting, but I'm not entirely sure. And then like Ren is here, I'm like Ren, okay. Then it kind of ended. But before that, I'm like, nah, this is cool. Traumerei pulling up, then him like calling everyone trifles, him calling Bama human. I even thought that like all the fights were a little bit better. I actually kind of like the Calivan and Glyboric moment. I do want that electric storm thing explained a little bit because only one time have we seen someone get hit by an attack and they got stronger. So I wanted to know if there's something
yeah,
that could happen depending if like it's like haha stupid, I'm a flame user. Use fire. Like I'm like dumbass, like now I'm stronger
yeah,
type of thing. Like, there's a lot of interesting stuff going on. I think Yasracha was, to me, stealing the show. As much as I think in concept, the Emort backstory sounds better for like the brothers. I actually still like the stuff with Wang Wang and Nea and everything. I
I was
think
about to say,
it was still really good.
how do
Like
you,
I liked it.
how do you feel like the Beastkin have kind of like panned out? Because I know that a lot of people had problems with, you know, Yama's kind of troop and the dog kind of cat and mouse shit going on. But I always did like the build up. We also went back to games, challenges again in the tower when we met Yasuracha and bringing a lot of, OG characters like Hansung back into the mix. So I personally was liking it, but I do know that some people were not moved, by Blackleg and all that shit. So do you think that hit all those things in the cage have kind of panned out and added to the story in a positive manner? Or do you think that it's kind of like it's cool that it's there? Yama's cool, which I know a lot of people are just like, yeah, we got Yama, we got Wang Wang kind of like background. We got some Yasuracha and overall LPB, like, lore and family connections and stuff, but they don't really give a fuck about the Beastkin themselves.
Yeah. No, like I would argue from what I can tell, we're putting a pulse in the community, at least my community. The Beastkins are not something they care about, like on a personal level. There might be a
Uh
couple they
huh.
like. A lot of people like Jordan, like Yama's guy, Jordan. Yes, Ratchet's
Yeah.
gonna like even Roby or Lobi, the like lion one, where it's
Yeah.
like I'm supposed to be the king of the jungle, blah blah, but yet you're supposed to be a dog, it's supposed to be kind of like man's best friend, but you're not subservient. Like you have free will. Like that makes no sense. Like I'm supposed to
Yeah.
be the king. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a couple outliers that people like, but I'd say in general, people just see them as a plot device. Like these are the people that Yama's gonna lead,
Yeah.
or whatever the case
Exactly.
is.
Yeah.
So they're not going too deep into it. Yama himself, I think the community, my community at the very least, is very low on him. I still think I'm the one holding on a little longer because I'm like, once he gets all the three fucking fangs and learns that he's
He's my
architected,
guy. He's
like he's gonna
he's
go
my
crazy.
guy.
But people haven't really liked like how the thing with him and Yas Ratcha panned out. But personally, I think I'm the only one to maybe be taking it a little differently because I made that video early. Like, is Yas
Uh huh.
Ratcha protecting Yama? Like,
Uh
something's
huh.
off here. And then it's
Something's
backstory.
off type, and then we got the backstory story, and that also was kind of our first window into Traumerei's, like, controlling behavior, which was something that could lead into his nightmares and his relationship with the other family heads as well. So that was very interesting.
Mhm. So yeah, learning learning like all those things about Yama, I'm like, all right, this can come full circle later, and I believe with the Ass Ratchet dying, he's gonna give him like the other Fang that I think Doom gave him one, so I think he'll give him that Fang, and then he'll be like Wang Wang, someone who can't be controlled, and then he'll have the ability to control Beastkin or at least the Canine Houndborns, whatever translation you go
Uh-huh.
by. So just I think with him, it's just like a you have to wait and see it all play out into fruition, though. Based on how he was initially presented, I understand why a lot of people thought he was a well established, like a Slayer who does his job properly, but seemingly
Yeah,
none of them do. I'll be fucking around. So
that too. And I mean, I feel like these Slayer candidates are pretty much supposed to be in their juvenile phases. Like, they're not supposed to be in their prime. Like, they're making noise. They're like the new age of people that could be a threat.
mm,
Even looking at how Zahard and Traumerei were talking when he calls him, and he's kind of having his first talk where he's like, "Hey, this is an inevitable war. X, Y, and Z powers. I think he said the RA family, Eurasia family, and someone else can't get involved." And then he was just kind of implying to Traumerei where he said, "You need to take care of it." You know what I mean? That, I don't know. It all led into each other pretty well, and it showed that they still don't know the extent of Bam's power. They still don't know, and they keep talking about testing him and stuff. Even though it seems that Zahar is somewhat aware of who he is. I don't know. Like, it's a bit confusing, and that's something that I want cleared up. Ever since Hidden Floor, ever since
yeah,
stuff
because
like
the guy
that, I
killed
need
you
to.
already.
Yeah, exactly. Child with the golden eyes. Like, I've killed you once before. So there's discrepancies there with me, but at the same time, it does let me know that they don't see them as major threats. They want to see how they're going to make something shake up in the tower, and I think a lot of them are bored as well. So you definitely got to let them get a little bit of a pass in that instance. I feel like Karaka, Yama, and
They'll
Bam
tend
will
to
be
be
major.
yeah.
Yeah, like, and they'll be major players down the line, and they'll all have allegiances. And I mean, I talk about it all the time, but that was another small key, like, major moment for me in the series was Sophie was talking about the elder, Fog Elder Sophie, lighthouse user, was like talking about Karaka kind of being her god. It makes it kind of like nice to see that there's still factions and that the Slayer candidates and that stuff actually means something, and it's not just like Bam's new kid on the block. Some people know more about him, whatever it may be. We just all gonna be supporting, in his way, just because we know he's special. Like, so, I think they're all gonna pan out to be something. You definitely gotta wait, but I can understand people's frustrations as well. I think Yama's putting in some work. I think he's putting some damage. I think he's lived up to the name.
Mm, I don't, I don't, but I think he will at some point. I don't think he's been awful, all things considered. It's just the Ash Ratchet thing is different because you had the Fear Fang, so like I try not to go like overread that. Like I get it.
Yeah,
Otherwise, he been doing his thing because even Kel Helen was like, I did not know he was this nice, and he's supposed to be
that's the
close
what
to
I'm
him and pay
saying. He
attention,
would
So
when Cal Hallam was kind of apprehensive on like, even if I went all out right now, I don't know how much damage he would do to me after I killed him. And that's still not Yama at his full potential, but I
we have
I, I
yet
can
to see
see.
full canine transformation. It hasn't happened yet. We haven't seen it.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people, me included at first, were caught off guard when it was like a full body transformation, and I was like, "Is this supposed to be it?" Like, but we still haven't seen the full thing. Like you said, whatever pans out to happen with Yasuracha, which we've gotten so many flags already on his character. He just seems like the sacrificial lamb as well, and he's had a good run. Like you said, he stole the show. He's been a better character than Yama. That's for damn sure, and he's been absolutely amazing. And I'm kind of happy about the tie. I wish that we got a little bit more internal politics with the different commanders as well. Like you said, we got some flashes of Lieberich, all that stuff. Caliban has been great, but I feel like that is one of, if I had to choose something that I don't like, there are too many moving pieces going on. It's like ever since Traumerei pulled up, like Caliban, it was just like go away. You know what I mean? You're dismissed, and I get
Caliban was
that
was on
because
his knees for like 8 chapters,
yeah,
just
he's
looking,
literally
just looking down, having eye
yeah,
contact, nothing.
exactly. Which I love it. Like I love it. I understand how serious it is and how he's like shaping up the story and all that. But if I had to choose one thing that I didn't like, it's because this is such a major kind of like precursor to the actual war, the actual arc that's to come. He's got to toss the ball around a little bit, spread the love. Get some assists here and there, and that does weigh down what I think he can be better at, which is concise storytelling.
Yeah. This a lot of I don't know. I'm not sure what it is. With a lot of these stories that I'm reading, where I'm like, you guys have a lot of moving parts, and I'm not sure you guys know how to seamlessly bring them all and converge them all together well. But we'll just see what happens. I guess you know what I
Yeah,
think about that.
because I
He's
know
got a
he's got an
lot of going on.
overall plan. Yeah, he's got an overall plan, but it's like you got
Because
to
I could
think we
even bring up
got.
shit like Wagner and what they're doing. Like, what are they doing? What's
Yeah,
going on with them?
like what's going on with them was okay. So things that we have no idea about. The captain just be the
Yeah.
background. Macheni's plan. Macheni's bet with the other princesses.
Okay,
Like
Yoa who got
the,
kidnapped by like Kel and Wool and them
yeah,
losers.
possibly Arc Raptor's daughter being there, and she's
Yeah,
like
Yuri.
a half princess as well. You know what I mean? Yuri being involved with Bam again. Could she be receiving punishment? Could things get serious? Will the Ha family have to step in? Ginsung just being released, like, okay, I mean, obviously, we know it's a part of her plan. We know everything's a part of a major plan. But I'm just saying, like, these are just a couple of things. We still got Ghost. He's doing things irregulars can. Oh, he just casually happens to have a ponytail like Bam or like V has. Like, all these things. Workshop, like Keenan, like all kinds of stuff that we could kind of like delve into. We've been seeing more sorcery, since we went to Heroes in the Wall kind of stuff. Like it's just so much. It's a lot, and I think it's been going well, but it does compromise the story. And like if some people that are reading it don't like whatever he's focused on at that moment, the next 10 chapters might just not interest them. You know what I mean? Because he's got to kind of drum that up there before he can move on to the next thing. And like I said, I enjoy it so far, but I can understand how some people will see that in a negative light. But I am on that boy's side. He's been cooking since he came back. And he doesn't just take a hiatus to do it. He'll come back and drop 7, 8 chapters with fast chapters, all kinds of stuff. Like he feeds his fans for damn sure.
It just, one thing with him is I think his biggest problem with me is just consistency. That's all.
Uh-huh.
And because like, and I do think at some point there's a paradigm shift though, where he decided to take a story a little bit differently than when he intended to. You could tell that by some of his
Yeah.
old blog posts. He's like, all right, don't say that no more. It's not it anymore. Even with the immort thing,
Yeah.
which is fine. That happens. That's literally like I tell people all the time, like like using examples that they'll know. Like Sasuke was not a character in Naruto.
Yeah.
His editor suggested that he needed a rival, and then look what he ended up becoming. Right? Like that wasn't an original plan, you know.
Exactly.
So
And the thing is,
when
like,
you're writing a long
he's
running story week to week, you never know what can happen that might have to influence or force
exactly.
you to make a change. Like, okay, this character became way more popular than I thought. I was gonna write them out. Maybe I'll keep them. Like things like that happen, and I'm sympathetic to that. It's not easy. I've never wrote a long running story like this, so I don't know those
That's
pitfalls personally.
definitely why I was talking about the impact on Naver turning, like, webtoons into something that's like, oh, this is a profitable business. It may
Hmm.
be indie stuff, triple A, quote unquote, well, whatever you would want to call it, like, things with billions of views on just the English app, like it does become a business at the end of the day. So the production goes up, the pressure goes up, and like you said, the fans' involvement in the series goes and gets taken into a major percentage of what actually matters and what we can do. So I do respect them on that. I get that at the end of the day, we're not, the elitist fans just because we was reading that shit from day one. It could be people who just picked it up, at season three. But they're all still a major part of like what he does, and I definitely can see the shift in that because just the overall plan he had for access users, how much he already like kind of discussed with the community even through blog posts is crazy.
Hmm.
Like sober kits and all kinds of stuff that he
Talking
just
about how
disclosed
erasure
us.
could just accelerate
Yeah,
Shinsu and shit like that. Yeah.
yeah, like, actual in-depth thing. We have known of the quote unquote Princess War arc since forever. And this is technically what it is, but I'm sure his once again juvenile idea of what he wanted to do with it was something more tournament style, primitive. Like you're just a dreamer, dude, in the military, doing your time because you have to in Korea, and you come out with all these plans of what the story is gonna, and then you actually catch fire. Like I can't imagine that that's the exact same story he planned from the beginning, and you just got to do your best week to week to kind of get in your bag. Like there's so many times where I'm like, nah, it's not gonna happen. It's not time yet. Like family heads actually clashing, and then it happens. And I'm like, oh, like he's
Now
trying
it's
to
time.
actually get into the. It is time to get into the nitty gritty. Nah, but what I mean by not time is when I think it was back in like I think I had to pull it up. What chapter like 550, like when Gustang was first kind of declaring that war. And they were like, this war is kind of unprecedented for the family heads as well. One of the 10 family heads could disappear in this war.
Mhm.
Like, I was like, okay, so if they really get into it, there's a possibility one of them could die. I do want to like say that, and I'm not sure if any of these are quote unquote official translations, but if they're talking about someone could disappear, I can see Traumerei, being led into a trap. Um, so that's all I was like, oh, they're actually fighting. Like this is actually dangerous, and I think Gustin could wipe him off the map. I was surprised, but it just means that we're getting, what we really need in the series to keep the fans excited and to kind of like justify as well as to why Bam has been getting this goddamn strong. And now I mean I get it already from the start just because of what we've heard Yurik do. That's kind of like the ceiling of what an irregular could possibly dream of doing. So I understand why Bam was always on, his accelerated path, but now it kind of really puts things into picture because Gusting and Charmer are just absolutely ridiculous. Like it's just ridiculous. The things that we see, and I told you the last time we talked, like it's crazy like seeing this series from the beginning because my jaw is dropped. And if you started reading it, in season three, you just won't like get it trying to imagine what the family heads were going to look like. And then you see this man dropping a skyscraper blazing sword out of the sky. And you're like, okay, yeah, I get it
This guy
now.
is
Like
just
Bam's still a baby, like a little raining orb not doing shit. Like
that orb's tickling them. It's not doing nothing. They're like, oh, it's a nice rain today.
exactly.
Yeah. Who would you say is your favorite character that's been introduced since that he came back?
Favorite character introduced since he came back.
You know, mine's Tiara, and I actually like Zamzam a lot. I'll take it at the same time.
Tiara is a great character.
Talk about it.
I don't I
She
don't know.
moves the needle. She moves the needle. She's
It's just like
her.
the whole Pobito family feels so much more important than Traumerei's and
Except the
the
dumb nigga trio.
LPD.
That
Yeah,
Rachel pulled. I call them the dumb nigga trio.
yeah, nah, they're the goofballs of the
Yeah, it's
in that
okay.
movie. Nah, but it's just
We
like
don't claim them.
what you were talking about the last time we spoke. The way that each family head like runs their family and runs things and how there are divisions within the family that could possibly cause them to fall apart if Traumer even gives a shit because he doesn't think any but one of them could rival him. Pobitos look like they had run through a wall for their dad. And why we just have to I'm trying to think of if there's anyone else outside of Tiara that's really like shine to me, and I definitely like a couple other characters. But I'm more focused on other characters like Cha, getting involved, like, our kind of former from the past characters getting involved, Shibisu, Hots and them, because they've actually had run-ins or are connected to, the Princess Hood with Anak, like. But as far as like new characters, it's just Tiara. She stands alone, bro. Like
It's
when we're seeing stuff with N now as well, like Tiara even existing and being so important to Poby to Gustang, it makes more sense why she Dolo out here and why she is the way she is, bro. She dangerous. She gotta be.
she's
They you
actually
know
a
what they did to
killer,
his
bro.
last daughter.
She's a
You know what they did to his last daughter. He not taking those chances no more. He needs
no.
someone who could just rip him out the paint if they. Man, I just wonder where she could like take her power to. That's the thing. I hope she doesn't, just get wiped off the map early. Like she needs to be a long-standing character. Because Elaine, tears in our eyes, both of us, was supposed to get set up to be something special, and I still got something for his ass for that one. And he still has a chance. He has a chance as Art to
See,
make
with
some
El
shape, but
Baba, I got the hopium back. I'm like, hold on. That's
yeah,
your daddy's daughter. Like he's right there. Like
that's
he's
it.
there. He's moving.
And
He's
that's
talking to Bam. Bam is like, is that Elaine's dad? I'm like, yo, we could get it. It could happen. It's still the hope is alive. I
yeah,
don't know what's
but
gonna
that's
happen, but
why I don't want to give you a definitive answer like it's TR or it's any because I need to see him. It's just so many characters where I'm excited for them. I'm excited. Oh, this guy is on the health floor. He's a painter. He's got new eyes we've never seen. Nigga relegated to just being on the back of the ship with his fucking mouth shut, just looking cool. You know what I mean? It is fine. I understand. They're gonna
was
come
it
into play
Boro the one
later.
who
It's
could
gonna,
like he could read weapons well? Like, bro, these
yeah,
niggas are not doing
bro.
nothing. Hasashi Faker? Yo, shut up, greatest D rank.
That's
Yo,
not
shut
shit.
up.
Goofy.
I
He
don't
said
rate
he a
him. I don't rate
top
him.
Your Tom D-Rankin had the fake Thor's hammer. I was not moved. I wasn't. I was like, you're
You're
you're fooling me. You're making me think you're connected to the guides because you have red hair and shit, and then you end up being a fucking bump. So fuck out of here, bro. Like, but yeah. But I will say TR just because, you know, the princess kind of system is a hard system is
I've
important to the
never seen
story right
Yuri
now.
get pushed that far. Like
The choreography of that fight.
Helljo aside because that was a little different. because like a boss, like a boss who could
Oh,
control
it's
shoots you with
fake
stuff.
because he had, yeah,
And
exactly.
she
He
was
had
getting possessed a little bit
circumstances.
by the 13 months because she tried to ignite two
Yeah,
at the same time. So like, I'm not going to go too far, but all this considered,
yeah,
I think he only managed to like slightly scratch her. But like, Chara's the first person I've seen really push Yuri. And it's not even the thing that I say Yuri's not capable of beating her. I just think Yuri needs to understand what the ability is and how to circumvent it before she could win. I don't think she could figure it out.
yeah.
I think Yuri's kind of an ape fighter, so she's a woman of action. I don't think she's a complete dunce, but she uses her body more than her brain. To be honest.
For sure. The thing is, like, she also is someone to get frustrated and flustered easily if things don't go her way. I'm sure things have always gone her way. I'm
It seems
sure
to be
for
a
a lot
common
of these
princess trait,
princesses.
almost like
Yeah,
they feel
exactly.
entitled to victory.
Very much so because they've already, I mean, Androsi's story, her eating at the table, her taking everybody out, like that kind of stuff has probably been emblazoned into their habits, their social habits. How they interact with other people in the tower, and how them saying their name is supposed to open doors for them. So especially now that in this environment, in this vacuum, right, in the story, where Bam is this polarizing, moving piece, and everywhere he goes, princesses are gonna flock to, just because I think that's what he's trying to build with this story and try to open the doors for like characters like Yuri, characters like Tiara, characters like Androsi are finally really, really gonna get their shine. I mean, Yuri's got her shine, don't get me wrong. Androsi, they've got there, but we're gonna start to learn about the dark past of the princess system with everything that N learned. Not everything to the point of every single is a hard, dirty secret, but we're getting insight for sure. And I'm happy you brought up Helljo because we can also segue into Garam and like the stuff that she kind of disclosed about the monthly series. Because I want your take on the monthly series weapons. What do you think could be important about them, and do you think that we're going to learn more about it during this arc since there's a lot of princesses involved?
Yeah, I think I've kind of taken a very literal approach to the 13-month series and the two keys
Yeah.
of Jihad and Wagnan, Jihad, Karaka and Wagnan.
Uh-huh.
I think they're the things that you need to unlock the 130 first floor. But
Uh-huh.
I believe that the 13-month series Ghost is a fail safe because if you try to ignite even just two, it takes over your body and kind of doesn't let you do what you want to do. I think that was kind of a fail safe that if somebody was even able to collect a couple of them and tried to ignite them all at once, it wouldn't work. And then then giving like the two like sons, if you will, or the clones, whatever you want to call them,
Yeah.
the rings is like the the like hidden monkey wrench, so to speak. But
Yeah.
no, like I think each weapon obviously has its own specialty. There's one's a hook, one's like more of a shield, everything, whatever. I think Adori has the only S rank 13-month series. I know they're not necessarily the strongest things in the tower, but I think they're literally like the key. And I think part of what the 13-month ghost probably is ties into what it was because didn't N get two and also go crazy? Was that Yaram or whatever? Garam's sister
So
maybe. Was that
so
Garam's
yeah,
sister?
so
And then N
yep,
went crazy from the Arlene's pocket.
yep.
Okay.
So my take on the 13th series and like kind of what I have been excited for and hope that he would divulge more of, is when she read her pocket or whatever, got the information from her pocket, and that kind of like changed her view on everything. It said that the incident then happened with Yoram afterwards. So then after that happened, she's like, possibly the first generation of princesses that were slaughtered, like, may have been imbued into these weapons because we've seen that
Mm,
they're actual women, whatever they may be. They're supposed to be ghosts, they're supposed to be possessive, they're supposed to be manipulative for some reason. Like, that tragedy might have been him purposefully killing them. And as we continue to see later and later into the story, sorcery being a bigger part, like, even Lobanon recently being like, like sorcery? Okay, interesting. That being something that is possible. And I think that might be something that happened. It's obviously just a theory. It's obviously just a little pipe dream thing that could happen. but I think it'll play a big part in why Anne was, kind of driven mad, why she didn't agree with anything that he kind of put in place, knowing that at the end of the day, you only wanted one person to marry, so everything that you kind of put in place for the system defined like a wife is fugazi, you lying, like you capping it, and you out here making us look like we're actually going to be candidates, and it's all for nothing. So that's probably something that pushed her to the edge, but she probably learned even more than that. And all these kind of like reoccurrences of nightmares and washed memories and them needing to go to that hell floor. And for some reason, Garam was just, found herself to be hidden there since she was on the run. And then N was on the run. N was when they got captured after, taking out tons of Zahar's, Royal Army soldiers. And was it Macheni? Macheni and somebody else that eventually captured her? So it's like so
It's
many things that we could
it's yeah, it's one of those things where like you could make the argument, but we don't know for sure.
exactly, and it's like so much stuff that it seems because it was always like, okay, why is Gusting on the hell floor with them? Like, what does he need from here? And he'd always have these pieces, or he'd have a key, or he have the Apple Watch. I'm gonna keep calling it the Apple Watch because
It's
when
what
he
it
put
is. You
it
got the
on, it
Fitbit,
was like,
bro.
when he put it on, it was like, this is the thing that could kill gods. I'm like, man's got an Apple Watch on. I'm like, okay, he really out here big stepping flexes. Like, he got all these things and had it smuggled out, and what was so important to his, upcoming war. It's like, okay, SIU, here we are. Like, you've obviously been leading up to this, probably what he sees as the first real major arc, in the story. Uh, Cook, nigga. And I mean, I think he is. I think he's doing well. But I got a lot of questions, bro. I got a lot of questions, mate. He better get to cooking
Gotta get to brewing, fam. Get to brewing.
because that's just a couple of things. We could go back even further than that, but that's just going back to Hell Train. You know what I mean? Like he's playing with a lot of strings here. He
Yeah.
better, he better, he better come through.
But
But I'm
every
happy
action
with it.
that Gustang has taken, I think, actually makes sense in accordance with what he wants in
Yeah,
terms of like
yeah.
as early as seeing him during the workshop, I think with Madarako.
everything,
Yeah, then
everything
him
he's
pulling up the
done.
floor of death and like here, go to the hidden floor, like all of that, like he's actually been making moves. Like that to me's all been consistent. Like Traumerei, I'd argue I wasn't sure what he was doing. I thought he started off really strong, so we could kind of super focus for a little bit on the newer content.
Yeah.
It starts with a convo with Jihad, where he's like, "I want to test the irregular type of thing and go find him." He's like, "All right, do your thing." And he goes and he finds Bam and he tries to talk to him and get him to his family or whatever. And I'm like, okay, like this wasn't just some like willy nilly thing. Jihad's like, go get him. Like, okay, I'll do it. He's like, let me see something. And then I might bring him into my family, which I think is invaluable. If you have two irregulars in your family, at some point you'd probably it doesn't matter who else is there. You have the strongest family. That's invaluable. That's
Yep.
invaluable. So I understand why
There's
they brought
no,
him.
from what we know, there's no other family like that.
Yes, correct. Um, and yeah, the thing that I find the most interesting so far with this little feud is that Traumerei seems to. I almost want to say the reason that he's going to lose isn't even because Gustang's going to outsmart him or is better than him or cunning than him. It's because of the way that he runs his family. He's a
Uh,
recluse. He's he's an introvert. He's misanthropic. He don't really fuck with nobody except watching niggas fuck and dogs fuck and ants fuck. I don't know why he like that, but he be in his room hugging his knees like L, right? You don't go nowhere. And a lot of people feel estranged towards him. They don't really see him, and even if they do, they're like they like what did Lobadan say? Like Zahar is not the leader of this family. He is. I'm not listening to
yeah,
Zahar. You know what I'm saying? Like
exactly.
he has so many people in his family doing their own thing, even if they believe they're doing it for the right reasons. Whereas Gustang, I'm not gonna be like, yeah, Gustang's a great father. He's like my son. I love you. Come, like they're not doing all that, but I feel like he's like a CEO running it like a company. So at the very least, there's a
Yeah.
certain level of respect and reverence towards him, and he gives you responsibilities that he expects you to fulfill. So you have purpose in the family, and I ultimately think that might be the thing that helps him win. Is that at the very least they're unified in the goal of supporting Gustang, whereas with
When
Traumerei's group, you got all these dissenters.
when Lobanon said that as well, though, it does seem that Traumerei was a different kind of personality type, though.
Hmm.
That because he will talk about how his father was before, you know what I mean? Which is always funny to see because they're immortal, right? So you see like these young K-pop looking ass boys, they'll be like 7'6" or whatever, but then you got these old heads like, yeah, my father or my grandfather or something. And I'm like, bro, like you're already 760 years old, fam. What are you
Yeah,
talking about?
fucking 1600,055 years old over there talking about my daddy. You are a grown ass man.
Yeah. but but yeah, it seems that he was a different type before. So I wonder, in relation to the timeline, when these tragedies happen. You know what I mean, and when the ways that the families are run now and kind of set in their traditions and different factions that are formed and shit. Like, when did this all start? Or was it just always like that? Like you said, is this just how each family you're gonna see being run differently? Uh, but
That's
this is the most exposure we've got.
yeah.
Hopefully, like Hendo Lock stuff starts to cook up as well. Just like I was saying earlier, Caliban just being on his knees for 8 chapters, like Hansung just got snatched up and he gone. Like they somewhere with nickels in a sock whooping his ass. Like it's it's so much shit that I just want to know about.
Feels like
And it's
Hendo is one of the
exciting.
most important family he has to introduce because it's like, why didn't you get the contract? What did you do? What did
And
you say?
he knows
Yeah.
so much. Like,
So that's why
oh
he's the one I want
man.
to see the most secretly. I want to
He
see him the
never erased
most.
his memory. He's like, I've been living like a
I'm
turtle for so long.
I
I
know.
had to sit here and live
Oh,
with
I
it.
know everything.
That's
This ain't no Castle Oblivion, bro. I know everything. I remember
we,
everything.
we code. But I'm excited, man. I'm really excited.
How do
Like,
you feel about the memory thing? And I'll tell you what some of my subscribers kind of think like is going on. They think that we're trying to find a way to remove the immortality of the family heads so that each slayer at least technically has a fighting chance from this, maybe not from a power standpoint, but you can actually
uh-huh.
fight and or kill them. So they think this is like a way to undo that in conjunction with the Fitbit. Where he's like Gustang's almost making it seem like I'll just give it to the riffraff. I'll give it to
Yeah,
the people, bro.
which is what
And
what
whatever
I
happens,
love.
happens. My nigga, I said he's like death is inevitable. Death comes for everyone. I'm like, oh man, that's kind of raw. But go ahead.
He's so cold. Like he don't miss. He got so many bars. He up there like a mega church preacher. He's that guy. But on a real note, I don't know. I don't know what to think because I don't know exact. If it all feels too easy, you know what I mean, for this to be something so serious. It
Yeah.
seems like the memories themselves and these nightmares because even when Zahard, right, asked Traumer, you still having those nightmares? Like it seemed, and we don't know. I could just be speculating. It seems like Zahar is like inquiring about it. I feel like Zahar is more cognizant of like the situation and stuff. I feel like Gusting is a bit more cognizant as well.
Mhm.
It was easy for Gusting to push Traumer's buttons. It was easy for him to bring up stuff, um, and make the block kind of hot. So I feel like Zahar was kind of inquiring and asking him, actually like those nightmares still happening in the back of his head. He's like, I hope you don't remember because I'm sure Zahard is the fucking source of them goddamn nightmares. He is the source of everybody's goddamn nightmares, throughout the entire family. But I don't know how to feel because it just feels too easy. Like there's just this actual physical book that the guy that is such a geek for keeping physical copies of history, and being anal about that and actually keeping, which would be kind of cool. Like he keeping it a buck. He's saying, hey, this is how I feel. This is the law of the land. I'll keep my shit in a book. If you can find it and take it from my family, it's fair. It's easy. Go ahead. But it's just the fact that some they would want to forget. I don't know. It's just hard to spin it into that being their contract, which is like a white memory as well of like I guess the administrator being present and whatever happened for it to go that far. But Hendo would definitely have to be there. So I don't think we're gonna get that far yet. I get it as a device to like let the Slayers have a fighting chance, but I think it's a bit too early.
It's gotta. I think there's gotta be more moving parts, like
Yeah,
than just that. Because some people were thinking that maybe they have some like Horcruxes, something similar to Voldemort. You destroy these seven physical things, and now you can live
yeah,
them, type of thing. Because some people are saying, what is that? Three water dragons? Is like did that allow
yeah,
you to kill him? So it's
exactly.
just, I guess they're just speculating. I don't know. I wasn't going
I
there, but
like no, I like when
I
you
think they
brought that
just
up though.
I think for the most part right now it's a memory thing.
I
But I
think
do
so
think that
too.
the Fitbit in conjunction with something else maybe does actually have the power to at least
No,
de-immortalize them for
I don't
sure.
think he's joking. I do think he has a way for them to die.
Mhm.
That's 100% sure. Is it going to be something as easy as like Yama, really gets a hold of this book? We know Yasunaga not making it out, but
Like his weakness
Yama
is
gets
that
a
he's
hold of this
allergic to
book or
peanut butter.
something, and he comes out with this book, and it's like Gustang gets his glasses smacked off his face, and he's not immortal. And one of them even has a fighting chance right now. Anyways, it could be 30 of them. It don't matter. Like
Yep.
it doesn't matter if they're immortal or not right now. Who outside of
Mhm.
another family head is stepping to them? Lusle, like we talking real demons. You know what I mean? It would have to be like Yorick actually pulling up. So I don't see us going that far yet. I like the creative like idea. I think it's more tied to the memory. I think like the actual meaning of this setup and us being introduced to the family heads is more to give us like background because it's about to be some crazy shit that's gonna happen. Then it's gonna get serious. Then it's gonna be like
I also
Traumerei, Gustang are actually at risk. Right now, I don't see them getting clipped.
I also think each of them forgot and discarded something different.
Yeah. Yep.
But
Yep.
each memory is significant to the person, but also with each one that we see, it's gonna paint a bigger picture.
It's gonna
Because I thought maybe they
exactly.
all forgot the same incident. Like, why did
I
the
don't
rift
think
happen?
so.
But no, 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 no.
Yeah.
Exactly.
No.
Based on how the conversation with Gusling and Traumerei went, I think everyone discarded a different memory, but I think
What
each
did
one
you
was
forget?
significant.
Yeah.
This
Exactly. He's because it seems like Gusting knows what Traumerei forgot. That's why he's triggering it. He's like, you've
Mhm.
always been a fucking bitch. Sorry, you've always been a
It's-
scaredy cat.
no, you could no, no, you're good. Yeah,
I know,
exactly.
I know, I
You always
know.
been
It,
pussy.
it
You
makes
always,
it funnier to say sorry.
you always been looking at
You always been
ants
a.
in your
I
room.
mean, Traumerei was out here giving that boy the middle finger too. That shit was funny.
You
But
should
no,
give me
I
the
think
dust here
that's
belongs to me. It's like, yo, talking shit. You could talk shit.
yeah,
Go ahead, talk shit.
talk is shit. But that's why I think it's a bit more complicated because I like when you brought up the three dragon thing because he keeps talking about the arrogant one. Like he keeps
Hmm.
bringing up the arrogant one. And I'm like, boy, talk your shit then. Go ahead. But it's something that Gusting is aware of. Like these are, oh, we haven't seen each other for a blank amount of years. Oh, Zahard inquiring to Traumerei, like, oh, you still having those dreams. So that means they're aware of that. These are things that have been going on. They're connected to Zahard is probably aware of what the nightmare is. Gusting is, if Gusting was more open about his situation, I'm sure Traumerei would know whatever that memory was, which might be connected to N. Like he might have been there when she went, berserk as well, and had to be locked up. So it's like so much crazy shit. I think Gusting wants to remember right now because I think he's about to go crazy. I think he wants because why is he?
He wants to start making the decisions he wants to make with all the information that he
Yeah,
needs, and
he
he's
doesn't
missing
want
such a
it.
big piece, and he's like, I can't even
I
decide if I
can't
want to
take
kill
it
you or not,
anymore.
because I don't
Exactly.
even know
He's
I don't even know what I don't know yet. So
and I feel like Zahard was the one that kind of introduced that.
mhm.
But and me, I'm still crazy. Zahard got something in his head along the way in his adventures. Like he came across something in the tower that he wasn't even supposed to see, and I think it infected his mind. And that's why he's got that monster, connected to him. But that's something completely else that we can discuss another day. And that influence also influenced the members because for them to all agree in forgetting something like that major, that probably was all led to V and Arlene wanting to escape, and the tragedy and everything, like, bruh. And then N gets her pocket and figures it all out. Like, that pocket alone right there, probably something crazy. And that could be somebody else's. That could be, Zahard's, where he forgot his memory if he ever agreed to something like that.
I think he
His could be
did,
a book.
but
Yeah, like and it could all be different things.
here's what somebody in my chat said they think it is. They think his memories are split between the Captain, Wagner, and Kraka
That's my
for Zahar.
favorite fucking. That's my favorite one because
And I'm
we
like,
keep talking
I'm like,
about
I like that because
them being the
Captain
three
looks
different
like Zahar.
parts.
So does Wagner. We haven't seen
Captain
Karaka
is
yet, but we're all assuming that he has a similar look and vibe. So I'm like, I
Crocker
don't
gonna have
even,
the long
I don't
hair
even.
swag.
I don't. Yeah, I was gonna say he'll look like them, but his hair gonna be longer. That's exactly what I was thinking. Like it won't be cut the way that their hair's
It's
cut.
gonna
It'll be
be
longer.
so cold. I'm so excited.
He's
But
not gonna have
yeah,
it
it's
cut
like
and
we talk
shaped up with
about,
bangs. It's gonna be long and
Captain
silky.
Captain got the foresight, he got the future sight.
Did I tell you that's one of
Wow.
my favorite moments? Um, like,
Yes. It is the
bruh,
most exciting thing in this
no,
arc. I
it's not
don't
even.
care what anyone says.
It's not even like I don't know. Maybe you're going where I'm going, but it's a part where I'm like, SIU was starting to do things where I'm like, you see, these little things matter to me. Like I'm giving you a couple examples. So there was Holland, Pete. I call him P Diddy, but Per Diddy Owl versus Hodgin Sung and everything, right?
Yep.
And then when Bam comes, he's like, "Hey, did you notice that they completely switched their strategy?" He's like, "Yeah, I did notice. They're lowering us to
Uh-huh.
something. Like they're talking. Like he's talking like a high ranker with experience." I know it's a small little thing, but it goes a long way. And even with Purdy, he's like, "Damn it, I didn't bring my best. Like whatever. I'm gonna have to use quantity over quality for the time being. That's all I can really do." So and after like Holland, you have to back me up. Like this is the massacre of the Hoff. I'm like, yes, thank you. See him and recognize what he's for. Like I'm tired of people like, who's this? Oh, Rec was, I don't know,
Who
bro.
is he?
You don't know
Like,
who Rec
bro,
is? Like, what are we doing? what are we doing?
you know who Ginsung is. Like, he a
Yeah.
demonite. Like, don't try and play. Like,
Right. So I'm having a good time with stuff like that. So like later on, damn it, what was the other example I was going to use? Where I'm like, these are the things that I like. Where like the
the
higher. Oh yeah, oh
attention
yeah,
to
oh yeah, yeah,
detail
yeah.
parts.
So the fucking snake guy, hatchling, whatever, is sprinting. He's like, hold on, is that a regular grunt keeping up with me? I'm not running full speed, but this is a regular ass grunt. Hey, like, hey yo,
Yeah, exactly.
high bodied captain. I said, that's crazy, but I respect the fact that you're like, hold on. I may not be running at full speed, but ain't no way a random foot soldier is keeping up with me, bro. I'm nice. Yo, what's going on over there? So I'm like, no, I like that. Like he's actually been doing so much better with those small little details. I want to give credit where credit is due.
I agree. And, we have some similar and different examples, like the whole altercation he had with Ghost on the roof. Like, that
Yeah.
was a big moment. Like, this is stuff from the beginning. Someone that Hedon himself assigned to Rachel's team. This is a major character to the story that came back in the most random fashion and then is pulling things that only irregulars are supposed to be able to do,
Mm-hmm.
that we were supposed to be seeing in the rice cooker, a rice pot. Like, is crazy. And then they just kind of fade off, but you know that it's tying to something bigger. It's roping Bam to his fate. And it's telling, major parts of the story without saying it out loud. Like, oh, this is why I was in the story in the beginning. This is what Hedon wanted me to do. You know what I mean? Where, there's still moments all the way back to, and this is why I'm happy he's taken breaks in the hiatus, because he has gotten back to his OG roots in a different style. Don't get me wrong, it's still kind of a different modernized version of TOG, but we have gotten back to the games, challenges in the tower. Um, if Traumerei wanted to clip everybody in the room, he could, but he kind of is still the adventure at the end of the day. Kun being able to go up to him and actually propose games and try and trick him with lighthouse and
Oh shit.
delaying the timing and the chess and the
And Traumer's
knowing
like,
that you could get
I knew you was doing all
squashed.
that shit, you dumb goofy bitch.
Exactly, and then
He thought she
we
could
get
outsmart me.
the long cape, and that's why I just love that the production of TOG has gone up. He's got assistants, he's got these great artists, his art has upped.
And
That's
howling
that
his hot
him.
breath. My tongue is burning. To brush your
Bro,
teeth, nasty breath ass
that
nigga, bro.
so cold, bro. He's talking to him through a cursed touch. Go. But yeah, all these things have, really matter. But that one mattered to me. The ones that you actually brought up were great. What else? There's another
Not,
moment that I
not.
really like. I
There's
liked a lot of the
a lot
stuff
of
with.
small ones too. Because even Bam is starting to use his brain a lot more, or at least but SIU's putting it on paper a lot more. Because this fight with Ren, I thought was a good fight.
I was just about to say that too. I liked him using that rain as well, and kind of figuring out things on the fly and being aware of
Mm-hmm.
his ability, and also just being the aggressor. Having fun with it, smiling in niggas' faces, and understanding like I'm on another level. Season 3 is when he started to just start flat out telling people, "I'm just on another level from you. I'm not gonna stoop down to you and take the time to break you down in this. I'm just gonna full throttle you from the beginning, and kind of have to navigate my way through some new powers because, like I said, things have been getting wackier. He's been experimenting with Shinsu, sorcery, hand to hand combat, great choreography, ignition weapons, all kinds of stuff. Niggas got blicks, like, like niggas got
Yo,
bullets with
shots to Katan,
Shinsu.
bro. He popped the yop, the blick, the machine. I said, wait. I said, this
people
guy
are
is him.
getting people are getting stronger, in
Bobadan
582,
looked
like
dangerous.
they launched
Keating.
actual, artillery, and they noticed, hey, that's higher ranker, like Shinsu imbued artillery. Like this is an actual threat. Like,
That was interesting to
I'm
me.
just,
They're like this beam is advanced ranker level. Like you guys can just discern that. Okay, I want to see
they
that. I want to see
go.
more of that.
Yes, sir. But
It's like yeah, put the
I
bears
think
up. Hugo.
he's been doing great with those little moments, and then you still get your main characters that get the shine as well. There was another one that I really liked, but we could keep talking about something else till I
Well,
remember it.
Zamzam versus Mate, all concrete hard booty ass nigga, like so I call him. Um, the Ha family and Pobedal hybrid. I thought his fight with Zamzam was cool. I didn't dislike
It
it,
was good. It
and he's
was
a
good.
doper. We got like a new ability we didn't know about was someone who could like transform their body into a certain type of element or whatever. But there's like a physical drawback after. And he was starting with TR with his fucking booty, hard ass booty in the goddamn panel. I said, put some pants on. He made me laugh
Yeah,
too
his cheeks was
because
flexed
of
up, man.
shark nose, the fucking the Dugon. He's like shark nose. That's what I name him. Like, what is wrong with this guy? He's kind of funny. I liked him. He alright with me. He cool with me. He rock with
Oh,
the Pobedal family.
it was when Kun was getting dressed up when he was at the Pobido family like ship,
Mm-hmm.
and Rachel was there, and he was just like, yeah, I could tell in the back of his mind, it's just like this. She just will fucking go away, and it's just kind of sparking interest as well because this fucking name drop when they said there's a new group aside from FUG and Zahar's army that has influence in the tower. And they showed the silhouettes of the different possible major players in it. And the captain was one of them. You know what I mean? So it seems like Rachel is actually important too. She's going to keep getting more shine, and she might have connection to the Pomido family because she seems like someone who they kept mentioning Icarus and her name, the alias that she had with that different face that she chose on
Mm-hmm.
the hidden floor was Icarus, as well. So that was another little thing that I really liked. And then they kept talking about, the Forbidden Book as well, which has led up to something that we see now. Because it just seems like a general knowledge. Like Gustang's just okay that everybody knows about the book, but niggas just know, don't fuck with it. Like,
No, yeah. And then there's also the Snow Garden, like the Tree of Arlene stuff, where like Mio Love and Sophia and them went. So like we saw like what's going on
uh-huh.
over there. and then Bam should probably be coming to where we are currently with Lobadan because of Laura tricking El Bozo, El Baba, and everything. Like she really played that nigga, but she be making me laugh with her fake sleep though. She be fake sleeping, and no one be falling for
That
that
shit
shit.
is goofy.
That shit is so funny. And small detail, I actually like the suspendium in the like ponytail to make it float. That was kind of cool. I actually like that. But anywho, yeah. So when Bam gets there, it's gonna be interesting to see what happens because I think he's gonna be like when he gets there, like that's when things are really gonna pick up. I don't think
Uh huh.
Yasuracha and Yama have enough chemistry to carry a chapter by themselves yet. Um, personally, and then like I don't know if you noticed this, and I don't know if I'm reading into too much. It looks like Labadan doesn't know Karaka might be there because when they presented like the four of them, it was Yasuracha,
Yeah.
Yama, Moron, aka Doan, and who am I
Uh
forgetting?
huh.
I forgot, I'm forgetting somebody, but like they were all, was it Cha? I don't know. They were all there. Not Cha.
No,
Hold
it
on. Hold
wasn't
on.
Cha.
What the hell's wrong with me? Hold on. Yama, Yasuracha, Doan. Was it just three then? Am I forgetting somebody?
And then I think yeah, he said three or something like that, and then you
But
were
but
like,
but but like
he's not aware that.
Karaka's
Uh huh.
observer was like, then they traced to the panel was like, it was like aware. So I'm like, I wonder if they didn't tell him that Karaka's there just in case. So Karaka might be moving in the shadows doing some scout shit to see just what's really going on, or he might do something important. Because I'm so, that's my guy. I'm still holding out that he's gonna do what needs to be done, but it don't be looking good for me. But he be, listen, he had niggas. He just in his heart, he's like, "Hey, yo, we fighting Fusile. Hey, I got niggas too, bro." And shit, like part of the army with him. I'm like, "Hey, that's kind of raw." But, oh, it was
it's a lot
Doan.
going
It
on.
was
That's
Doan.
interesting.
I forgot
Oh,
Doan.
okay.
Shit, I'm an idiot. That's what I was forgetting.
I thought you said no. You did.
I said it already. Oh,
Yeah, because you
well
said
she.
moron.
Oh yeah. Well she's. Oh shit. Yeah. Well she's there. I hate her, but
You just said three, right? Or who's all there?
I'm just gonna look to see if I'm tripping.
Oh, I thought
Maybe
you
it
were
was just
looking. I'm
maybe. Oh
sorry.
no. I'm slumped back in my chair, staring at the
Nah,
ceiling.
you're good. I'm looking back at this chapter, 551. This was a big chapter for me with Rachel, and then she had him reading that book in front of everybody, and he started to, and it was like, Icarus and the Zahard princess, and she was there smirking, and he turned around and she was gone already. Like, she's cooking behind the scenes too. It's just so crazy that she's just gotten
Nigga.
away with everything that she has, bro. Like, she's just found a way to be a parasite and sneak into every single fucking crevice. Every single person who thinks they're using her for their own gain are just gassing her up more. I'm happy she didn't get that mantis though. I thought she was gonna get a power up. I was hot. That shit
Yeah.
ended up being fucking
Well, she got those wishes.
Gustang. Yeah, she had those wishes, but we don't see how that shit play out.
Mm-hmm. No, yeah, it was just those three and plus Karaka. He was the fourth.
Okay, yeah.
Just whatever.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Do you remember where Paul is? People were asking where Paul was. I'm like, I actually don't remember if he was with them. I don't think he was. I don't think he was with them. I think he might be
No,
I think he might be by the tree with Arlene and
I
Mulan and
don't know
those
where.
guys.
Yeah,
I said
he
Arlene.
might be over there. Is
I don't know
Arlene
where
not
he's at
alive?
because I think that shit. Oh, it's Doom. Doom was who else forgetting? It was Doom. Cause I said Yasracha, Yama, and Doan and Karaka. It was Doom. Those were
Oh
the
yeah,
four. There we go.
yep. Because
It's Doom.
he's a former, so
Cause
yeah.
he's the one that's staying there as quote unquote a hostage.
Uh-huh.
With the Lobadan thing because Yama and Yasracha went to infiltrate. Okay, there we go. Damn, see, I knew I was tripping. Yeah, because I thought Doom was gonna die. Could still happen. I thought Yama was gonna go off and become a real Slayer and combine his fangs, get Arcanak, and be full K9 and do what he gotta do, whatever. And I thought Paul was gonna lead the cage. That's what I thought was gonna happen, but we'll see.
That's still something that could definitely happen. So
Mm-hmm. And
we know
then
Yasarash is getting clipped. That's all we are certain of right now.
I just hope that they don't drag. My problem with him was like, I'm dying slowly anyways. I'm like, hey, it's die or don't. Like, I don't have time for just slow 4-month death or
Well,
whatever it's
we're
gonna
just
take.
waiting. We're just waiting to see who the next demon knight in the Pobido family is.
Which looks like this guy,
And
what's the name?
yeah, and then
Giskar, the
I don't
first
know how
class
to. I think
librarian.
it's Giskar. I moved more by Hugo. I'm rocking with Hugo.
Really? Okay, I see. Well, you know what? Gustang let's say don't tell Hugo about something, so there's probably a reason. Like,
Yeah, I think
mobilize
Hugo's
everyone,
a
Hugo.
hothead. I'm
Yeah,
rocking.
yeah, yeah.
He
Abe,
was
Abe.
like, what would happen if we attack them? And they was like, relax, relax.
Don't do it. Don't do it. I'm like, do it. I'm like, do it, Anakin. Let your hatred run through you. But no, I'm not. I don't actually. I don't. I didn't hate Hugo. I don't hate Hugo. Hugo was moving me for the time being. I'm like, all right, she, she like fashion. What are the lasse material girl? Right, she just out there doing her thing. But this
That
guy
shit
seems this
funny. I love
that guy with the handcuff and the chains. Like the
it.
handcuff and the chains itself didn't move me. I still think he's very important because if Gustang sent him specifically to
For
get the
him
book,
to have
yeah,
exactly. That's what I'm
and
saying. Like that.
I don't know if Yama and Yasmatra are supposed to be weakened right now, but they did try to sneak him, and he said, "Nah, get
He
cuffed,
said, "Nah,
nigga."
pull the shirt off, showing off the 2% body fat." It was like, got her fucked up, boy.
So, because Yasmatra's dying, so I don't know if he's weaker. And then at one point they
And
said
he hasn't
Yama
even
hadn't
done anything
recovered
yet. It's
from
just been
the
hand to
Traumerei
hand
stuff.
combat.
Yeah, yeah.
It's just been hand to hand. So this is gonna get real spooky. Yasrashi getting clipped. We know that.
Yeah, I'm okay with it. Somebody thought that he was. Someone was asking me, do I think that Yama will die instead and give him the fangs and that he becomes the Slayer? I'm like, no, I don't think that's gonna
I
happen.
would literally cry.
I don't think I want that to happen, anyways. I don't.
I would cry. Has been an amazing character, but has served his purpose. It's time to
That's
go.
exactly how I feel. Like
Exactly.
even when his character I like, I'm like, all right, I really think your thematic roles run its course here. Like this, I felt about
And that's
Byakuya and the
fine.
1,000 Year
That's
Blood
what you
War.
were.
That's my nigga. But I'm like, yo, this was the way to send them off secretly. Like this works for me. As much as it's sad.
That's what you led up to be. Your story was a success. For real. Since he stepped on the screen, he's been special. Like for real. I really, really enjoyed that character. But like you said, it's just like you see them in a chapter alone now, and you're like, oh, this is cool. Oh, he's letting him control him, and he's like thanking him because it's a special occasion. But it's cool to see that. It's funny that he's being controlled by Asrachi. He'd never ever in any other circumstance let that happen. But it's not enough like to be moved when we got the labyrinth going on. This nigga sitting here reading through these books. Gustang
I
sitting
saw
there watching
level
like a
one
peeping tom. Like,
Cobalt, level one Kraken, Raging Rapids, Kraken, whatever. I was like, yo, they tiny here. Then then Traumer gonna pull his big ass octopus. Hey, go read these books. I ain't reading them. You do it.
he said, I ain't read them. You do it. He said, okay. You remember when we used to do it as kids? Like, man, I love that shit. We get these
Mhm.
flashbacks. Like,
That was nice to
they've
see. This
been
was one
A1
panel,
since
but it was
day
nice.
one. Since
Yeah.
day one, bruh.
Mhm.
Will we get that spin-off, Zahar's Adventures? Huh?
It's gonna be like Maggie, and then the Adventures of Sinbad, the Adventures of Jihad.
This shit will
We'll
be
see.
fire.
There's a lot to be excited about, though. All things considered, just a matter of fact. It's just
A lot.
a matter of him actually just staying focused, staying a little consistent, and just making it as
Yep.
seamless as possible,
It's
smooth around
it's
the
just
edges.
like in this discussion how we've been able to tangent to a lot of things. That's how the story does feel. Because I could think about a billion different things to be excited about that somebody it might not be on somebody else's radar. They're just focused on like, the next fight, which is also exciting. I'm thinking 40 steps ahead. I'm like, when is Hot's gonna run into you know
Mhm.
when is Hot's gonna run into one of these princesses and notice, huh? She might be here, Lilial and Zilial. Like, they had their confrontation a long time ago, and that would be a perfect time for Hots to ignite his sword and actually get some shine and then introduce some older characters again. But who knows? Maybe that just runs his course and he's edited the story. So it's like little shit that I'm thinking about like that. You could just have whatever's right in front of your face with the actual family heads being in confrontation. When we saw his weapon grade, or not his weapon grade, but his inventory grade, and it's just question marks, and it's a secret library, and I'm just like, it's just showcasing how ridiculous these niggas are. Like, oh my god. Traumerei's got
Man,
nuts though. He be stepping to him in his hood. I mean, he be getting pulled over there, but he be stepping to him in his hood. That shit crazy.
Traumerei definitely is like somewhat being puppeteered, and he's not like strategically,
I feel like he's
tactically
the
winning,
younger brother. You
but
feel me?
but he's not afraid. Like, bro, run the 1-on-1 then if you're that nice.
Yeah.
like, he, like, he, like,
if if
like,
you
yeah, I
have,
don't want to play. It's up to me. I'm staying in my room. But if I'm here, I'm gonna win. So I'm like, I respect
yeah,
it. I respect it. I really do.
and I think like, and I don't know if we talked about it before, but like he's not physically strong, but with everything that he can kind of bring in congregation, he
Mhm.
can be very dangerous. If he gets it in his element, which was in his, actual home, he's he's probably unstoppable. There's no way you could beat him there. And
I
that's
still
why
think that
Gusting has been
he could
trying to
enhance. Yeah,
pull,
maybe to a neutral
you
area.
know, exactly, because he said that that submarine was set to go to a specific location no matter what. You know what I mean? And Kun thought he was cooking by like setting up a deal, but in the end, it's going to whatever location Gusting wanted it to go to, anyways. So that's ultimately going to lead Traumerei there. That's why I think that Traumerei has a better chance of getting like kidnapped or held hostage or something right now. And then Hendo might get involved because they're supposed to be close friends and the immortality contract stuff that Hansung knows. But who knows? Like you said, there's just so much to be excited about, and I'm like, damn, I need the next chapter, bro. This chapter, today was just like a little snap. Like I need the whole thing.
I need the whole thing. The last question that I have for you, in terms of what I've been thinking about a lot recently, is the locked floor or floors in the tower, and why they're locked off. Is Jihad protecting the people from something? Because you know that I think that the blog post used to say there could be a hostile administrator, whatever the case is. Is there something up there in that tower that they're just not ready for? They can't even deal with. Was it just like a power hungry move? Like, I'll make these contracts, be immortal, and rule the tower from here on out. Fuck the rest. Like, what do you think is really going on there? Because I personally think that there was something there that scared him. I didn't want to climb
I
anymore.
think there's I think there's something up there that possessed him. That's why
The
I
monster we
was
talked
talking
about
about that
earlier. Yeah,
before, the
yeah.
monster, and it's
Okay.
it's kind of maybe something that the first admin,
Like
whatever it is, but it's
parallax type
it's
beat to like Hal Jordan.
yeah, and it's really a nasty entity, and like it wasn't something that overpowered him. It probably just played into his inquisitive nature. I'm sure that's a hard. It's supposed to be, like sailing the seas, adventurer type. You know, always easy to get going. You can rope him into anything. You can, antagonize him easily. Like he's just that guy, and he's always been powerful enough to back it up. So something probably played into his inquisitive nature and started to make him question the stuff going on. And then it found the seed in him, something with V and Arlene, and it just latched onto it. And it found a way to it probably can't leave that floor itself. So it wanted to be something that could kind of like poison the tower. Who knows? This is obviously just thinking
Speculation.
crazy ahead because these are family heads and we've seen the crazy shit that they're able to do. So there's no way that somebody like Enryu that we've seen who's literally showing up to the floor of death and wiping out an admin in the rain, like it seemed like it wasn't even something that phased him. Like they're people close to his power that are just couldn't band together to face that thing on the floor. It's got to be something absolutely crazy. And I
Hmm.
think that's what that monster side of him is with the horns in the back of his neck. I don't think he was just like that. But who knows? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. Who knows? What do you think?
I like the idea that something kind of possessed him and whatnot, but I guess my only thing would be like, it would have maybe happened earlier, and by the time he got there, it fully bled into whatever fears he may have had or whatever the case is, because the data flow is supposed to record what you were at that point in time when you were climbing. So
Uh
it's
huh.
supposed to be rankers, unless there's some weird retroactive stuff where it's like after that whatever infected him, it also infected his data. I'm not saying I don't think that's impossible. So that's the only
No,
thing. But I
I,
actually like that concept. That makes sense to me because it also kind
I
of reminds
do
me of the
agree
13 month
with you.
series Ghost, like something possessing you. You know?
I do agree with you because that's another thing that I think of, that 3 eye moniker thing. Like,
Hmm.
you know what I mean? That could be something that he saw. Like that just was
Hmm.
something that blended into his, head. Who knows? Because the last time we saw an actual admin, not even the last time, the first 2 times that we saw him, they're terrifying. The eye looking at Bam, and he's this when he's really a little
Like you
kid.
look tasty.
That
It's like,
thing was
yo, yo.
terrifying.
I
Like
don't
in
look
the
at me.
dark, and then we see Enryu, slaying an admin, and it's like this like conglomerate of like nasty, disgusting, like fucking chimera beasts and shit. Like who knows, bro? But this is all obviously like crazy speculation because I feel like the crazier the series gets, I just have to keep thinking like that. I'm like, we are supposed to see these little things at people's hips, and those were inventories. Like, this is what Gustang pulling it with? Okay. Got it. Capiche.
The ultimate library.
For
The
real. But
ultimate
yeah.
library. Blades. If you make my niggas of Gates of Babylon, he said, "You're a mongrel." I said, "Hold on, this move with me." That shit was so gas.
So gas,
It
man.
was
So
so
gas.
such a
I was
brain
really
flash. People were mad at Aguero for that interruption, and I'm like, I get it, but
but
we knew you weren't gonna
even
get
if
this whole
he
fight,
didn't
bro.
interrupt, like, did we think that just was gonna happen until someone died there? That was the end of the story. But, okay.
Ah.
If they fought there, the whole floor was getting nuked. Period. Like,
By the
kidding
way,
me?
shout the Snake Man, Sea Snake. Shout to the real dad.
I need to see Snake Charmer. I don't give a fuck. When I saw that, I got way too excited to start theorizing. Snake Charmer, the princesses. Nothing came of it. I'm like, fuck.
No, I feel it. You got any last words for the people?
Nah, man. I just hope everybody's enjoying the story. The way that we've been able to kind of get into a mixed bag of shit that we've seen, what we've thought of chapters 20, 30, 40, chapters ago, because we haven't talked about it in a while. Like, it's just how the overall series feels right now. It's super exciting. There's new characters everywhere. Like, I just hope everybody's enjoying it enough, and getting as much kind of like, I don't know, childlike feeling and nostalgia of the old TOG that we're getting right now. And just noticing that it's headed in a good direction. Because honestly, I don't really keep up with that many weekly series anymore. I only
Neither
keep
do
up
I.
with a handful of stuff, bro. Like,
And JoJo Lines doesn't count because it's not weekly; it's monthly.
yeah.
Because I had to finish Mash Show. I didn't finish that. I heard it's done now. Because I used to read the
Oh, it's
manga.
done. It's getting an
Yeah,
anime.
no, it's out. It's out. I watched 2 episodes of it.
Oh, dang.
Kaiju,
I'm
Kaiju
old.
number 8,
Kaiju
and
number is gold.
I like Sakamoto Days too, but I haven't been reading those since like I haven't read them since like March. So,
Sakamoto's gas. I only keep it with TOG,
that
Breaker, and
Ubera and reluctantly One Piece.
One Piece.
But even
I
that, I
haven't been
fell
on
off.
Twitter
I
for
fell
like
off.
two
I
weeks.
fell off for 6 weeks for One Piece, or 4 weeks, I think it was, when he
I'd
went
be
on his
TL
break.
reading it. I'll
Yeah,
just be seeing a TL. Kobe, my favorite character. So,
Big Mamba.
Shay! I
Mhm.
was moved.
I feel it.
I was moved, but I was fake moved before too because when the Katakuri fight happened, I fake caught up just to read it because I was moved by Snake Man. I was moved by the fight, and then
I seen Crocodile and I started going crazy. I said, "That's my goal. He back. He the nicest. Don't you ever
I
forget.
saw I
Sand in
saw
your eye, bitch. Sand attack. Don't ever forget."
Garp and Kobe, and I said 2 apes. I don't need to see none of that booty, no fruit. I'm trying to see real hands, and it lived up to the hype. I was like, oh shit. Still not reading it though. But yeah, just enjoy Tower of God. We gonna make
um,
more of these for sure. This one was very spontaneous as well, so
yeah.
we're gonna have more structure next time too.
Maybe get that boy a boy, La Bam James. You know what I'm
La
saying?
Bam James.
I be saying some
Bam is
shit.
in his bag right now. He
He
really
really
got
is.
a nine pack.
This is the most I've enjoyed him since, I would say, like the JVG season 1 era, season 2 era. Like he's doing his
That boy
thing.
is. He's been doing
He
his
using his
thing, man.
brain. I'm like, look at him thinking. So proud. He's over
He
there
fighting like
thinking.
Ginsung taught him. Ginsung whoop his ass if he saw what he was doing before. Straight meathead shit.
But yeah, you guys will be back. Yes, Sirski.
Yes, sir.
Shout out to the Patreon. I don't know why I said it like that, but shout out to the CBLs. You know what I'm saying? That's some certified Bam lovers. They be loving Bam, Lil Bam James. But gotta give a bigger shout out to the Priest of Fire. Appreciate y'all, man. They might be the real CBL because they certified brilliant lovers. But biggest and huge shout out to the fifth Zen Gods, the tier threes. Big shout out to Zyler Scotty, Zodiac Nemiko, Zachary Cooper, Urek Mazzino, Tino Brown, Tikos, Sunny Kathapali, Simi, follow him on Twitch, Shoddy to your body, Scope, Maury, shout out to Makai, Lucky Roo, Lazy Dragon, Johnny Rogers, Fairs, Tris, Danny 402. Is that a wonder or not? I'm not sure. Childish New Jabez, Andrew, my boy Alan, and Big Abdel. Your support is greatly appreciated. Thank you. We moved on to ice soup to flavored air. Let's go.